Okay, so this is the lecture, I suppose you could say, for the Unit 0 notes. I'm going to try and put a link to that in the description box below, so check there. If not, you can always check your weekly email that has the link to the notes as well. So, first off is the 4 myths of ASL. You can go ahead and read that on your own. Next is the ASL Signs space. It's where we typically sign. So it goes from a little bit above your heads, a little bit beyond your shoulders, and down to about your waist, which is below the camera line here, but that's the general place where most signs are made. Which hand do you use? This is my right hand. I am a right-handed person, so I'm a right-handed signer. If you use your left hand to write or do other things with, you are a left-handed signer. You will then sign with your left hand. Precision is important. As you learn more, this will become more clear. But for right now, just try and be as accurate as possible, and I'll try and warn you about any similar signs to be careful of to make sure that you're signing in the correct way. Their example is the difference between summer, ugly, and dry is just the location. So it's very important to be specific on where you sign that sign so you don't sign the wrong thing. Next is the alphabet, our ABCs. When you're spelling, you hold your hand up a little ways away from your body and about shoulder height or a little bit lower, wherever your arm naturally rests. You're going to spell all your letters right here on top of each other. This is not a typewriter. You don't need to keep typing forever to the end of the line. Sometimes you'll move your hand slightly, but you stay in this little finger spelling area. Don't move your hand a lot. If you have trouble keeping it still, you can put a finger there or a hand there to kind of remind you to keep your hand still. And of course, you don't want to block your face because your face has important information on it as well. This curriculum uses an odd way of illustrating the sign. So they're going to sign it across their chest, which is not how we would sign it, but they think because it's more similar to how we would read, it's easier for us to understand it. I think it's more confusing, but I'm not in charge of their illustrations. So we always move out or away from our body. So if I'm signing ASL, I'm going to move out to the side. If you're a left-handed signer, you're also going to move out. You're not going to copy the same direction. You're going to do it as a mirror. So they would go out to the side. All right. If you don't know a sign, you can finger spell it. As you learn more signs, try to work around a word that you don't know by using other words you do know. That's not really possible today because today is day 1. But as you learn more, you'll be able to work around that. So it would be better to just use more signs than it would be to spell a word. For example, if I don't know the word people, I could sign man, woman, and child. That might make it obvious what I'm talking about if I don't know the sign for people. In general, we do use fingerspelling in ASL for proper names, such as names of people, places, stores, books, movie titles, etc. If you don't know a word or there isn't a standard sign for that, we will also sometimes fingerspell, but we'll get into all of this later. All right, now time for the alphabet. So the first letter is A. My thumb is beside my fingers. My fingers are closed into a fist. The second letter is B. Again, depending on how your hand works and what feels comfortable for you, you can have B like this with a little space in between. I don't push my thumb all the way into my hand. That is uncomfortable for me. Some people's are more open. Usually just as long as it's in front of your finger, that still counts as B, but most people keep it more closed like this. Next is C. And then D, 1 finger up, 3 fingers down. E is usually your thumb with all of your fingers resting on top of it. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can have an open E, it's called. Your hand is still closed. It's not open like C. Your fingers are still pulled in, but there's more space between it, so you can have an open E. Remember, sign language shouldn't hurt, so if it's hurting, try and modify it so it feels better for you. Letter F, my index and thumb come together. F. G, you'll often see it illustrated this way so you can see what's happening behind you, but it should be this way with the front of your hand pointed forward, G. And 1 more finger added is the sign for H, so it looks like this from behind, but make sure you keep it with your fingers forward. Some people have it more straight or to the side. Either of those options are fine. The next letter is I, just your pinky up. and J, you draw the letter J with your pinky. For a left-handed signer, you would move your J in, so it looks backwards to you, which is difficult, but J still moves out to in. J. K can be a bit tricky. You have your two fingers up and your thumb is going to rest somewhere on your middle finger. Can be in front of it or on the side of it, wherever it feels most comfortable to you. Some people's are further down, some people's are further up. This is where it is comfortable for my hand. L, pretty easy. M, so M starts between your pinky and your ring finger. And a way to remember this is that there are 3 humps in the M when you write it in cursive. That's where the sign comes from. The sign for N, my thumb moves over a notch. And now I have 2 humps, like the finger, or like the cursive way to spell the letter N. Next is O. And next is P. If you remember how to sign your K, you just change your palm orientation and point it down, and that's the letter P, KP, like Kitchen Patrol. Next is Q, just like G, and we twist and drop it down, Q, GQ, like the magazine. R, you cross your fingers. I really hope something's gonna happen. Cross your fingers for good luck. S, your thumb is in front. Now remember, A was open like this, onto the side. S is in front of your fist. T, from the side, you can kind of see how it's shaped like a T. T. U, your fingers are together, making the shape of a U. They open for V. The third finger comes up for W. X, I remember this like X marks the spot for a pirate. R. Y looks like the letter Y. And Z. You just use your finger and draw what looks like a Z from your perspective. Again, if you're a left-handed signer, you have to draw a backwards Z. So we're going to start in the middle, go out, in, and out. So Z for a left-handed person or Z for a right-handed person. I have 2 more words that we learned on this page. The sign for finger spelling or to spell. And we sign the word alphabet by just saying ABC. I'm going to go through the alphabet again really quickly for those of you who want a little quicker practice. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. That's the alphabet. In your notes, there are 2 different activities for you to practice spelling 3-letter names and 3-letter words. You just keep your hand here for the whole time. If you'd like to go and practice that, you can look that up in the notes. A little translation note before we get into the signs. Remember that ASL and English are different languages, so you're going to translate things by meaning, not what the English word is. So if you see in English, I see, that can mean literally to see, or it can mean to understand. And I would sign those differently because in ASL, the sign for this, to see, means only literally physically see. If I see as in I understand, I would sign the sign for understand. All right, now these are the survival signs. These are the signs that you need to know for getting yourself through some kind of initial conversations. But since this video has run up close to 10 minutes, I'm going to end it here, and I will teach those in the second video.